Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive Podcast. Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guest is Priyanka Komala. Priyanka Komala is passionate about using technology as an enabler to help scientists communicate effectively to varied audiences. She enjoys sharing insights on STEM, leadership, the future of technology, personal growth, diversity, and inclusion. At the U.S. National Academy of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine, she serves as a technology leader in digital transformation projects. She is the host and producer of the CurryUp Startup Podcast to spotlight Asian leaders and inspiring people. Priyanka graduated from Anna University with a degree in engineering and ranked the top 5 among 15,000 students in the state of Tamil Nadu, India. She holds a master's degree in computer science from American University and an MBA from the Stephen M. Ross School of Business at the University of Michigan. Good afternoon, Priyanka. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Brian. Excited to be part of your show.
Absolutely. You know, what I love, Priyanka, is having somebody that has also their own podcasts. And when I saw you out there on LinkedIn, you just really inspired me, and I really appreciate you being on the show. So we're going to jump right into the questions here. So Priyanka, you have quite a career in engineering, technology, speaking, and you do a fabulous job, by the way. Could you share with our audience the secret to your career growth?
First off, Brian, thank you so much for your kind words. And in terms of career success, I attribute it to my parents, especially my upbringing, that's helped me be whatever I am today. And it's still a lifelong learning process. But there are 3 critical values that I really believe in that I want to share with our listeners today. One is connecting the dots of my journey has helped me focus on the fact that I love creating an impact wherever I am. And 2, being a lifelong learner who's focused on enhancing my skill sets and getting better at it every day. And 3, this is something that I always remember my dad saying to me: soar high and rise like a phoenix by conquering new horizons. So that's something that I really believe in. And as far as my educational experience goes, I grew up in India. I did my undergrad in engineering in Chennai, Madras, the southern part of India. And then I came to the US to pursue my education, and I ended up doing my master's in computer science from American University. And then as an engineer turned technologist, I felt I need to have a seat at the table to create a strategic impact, which led me to get an MBA at the University of Michigan Ross School of Business. So when I look back, it feels that all the educational experiences, the career experiences that I've had, including my love for speaking, have helped me in creating an impact and changing the lives of people around me for the betterment.
I love that. I really do. And I appreciate you sharing that. Again, every guest on this podcast really contributes back to this global audience, and they learn a lot. So thank you. So Priyanka, next question, I'm real curious. Why did you start the CurryUp Startup Podcast, and how do you see the future of this medium?
So CurryUp Startup Podcast, Brian, was started to amplify the stories of underrepresented Asian voices and inspire leaders with these stories, and then help these voices build brands. And I've been doing it for over a year. We have 40 plus episodes that we've broadcasted so far. We broadcast live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter 3 times a week. And then we're also available on all podcast streaming platforms. And for me, I get an immense sense of gratification by voicing and amplifying the stories of fellow Asians as part of these podcasts. And you know what, Brian, according to latest research, there was a recent report by Edison Research Infinite Dial Report, which says more than half of Americans have now listened to a podcast, and an estimated 32% listen monthly. So there's a huge demand for podcast consumption. And here I am at the crux of it, trying to share these amazing voices who've done great things for the community through their products and services, and helping them spread their brand awareness. At the same time, help our listeners feel inspired with their personal journey as well. On top of it, I think there's a significant demand for female-hosted podcasts, given how Spotify is really focused on encouraging a lot more podcasts through Spotify podcasts. So I feel I could really create a significant impact by being out there to help build these brands of my fellow Asians in the community.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And I did listen to a couple segments of your podcast, and I think you're doing a fabulous job. So thank you. Thank you. Priyanka, are you looking at or leveraging any new emerging technologies within your space? Maybe it's just an app that you think is really cool, and maybe you could share that with us today.
Happy to, Brian. Especially being in the podcasting space, I see a lot of emerging technologies in 2 domains. One is within artificial intelligence, AI, where you can automate your podcast production process. And then there's analytics that help you understand how your podcast is actually faring. So let me give you a couple of applications and tools that I feel deserve a shout out. One is Otter.ai, which is used for transcribing your podcast show notes, and two, Headliner, which is used for automating short video bites or audio bites of your podcast and captioning them through AI. And then in terms of metrics, Chartable is a tool that I use for metrics and analytics that help you understand and gauge the podcast distribution and how well it's being engaged by your listeners. So those are some of the emerging technologies that I really admire. And I think it's a cool time to be in this space to really leverage and pilot a lot of these new technologies.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. It seems like every podcast I get on, somebody has a new emerging technology that they're leveraging, or they found a really cool app. I won't lie to you, I've actually downloaded a couple of these apps or have used some of the technology that were mentioned on my podcast. So I think this is amazing. And what's great is we're sharing it with the world, right? Priyanka, this is the big question. Everybody wants to know about Priyanka. Can you share something from your career experience that would be helpful for those looking to grow their career in technology, STEM, or even leadership?
Let's talk a little bit about STEM field itself, Brian, because there's a lot of myth about what does STEM mean and why should one pursue a career in STEM. For me, I was fortunate as part of my Asian upbringing, STEM was the only choice that I had to pick from. But for a lot of us, especially in the US, there are wide variety of career choices. But let me give you a quick example. Let's look at smart devices. They've penetrated our lives. For example, let's look at Alexa, a device which could help teach kids various skill sets. If you look at it closely, any of these smart devices are looking at problem solving. So the core is problem solving. So here's a product that's designed with a combination of engineering, technology, and leadership that simplifies our life and entertains the kids and teaches math, especially in COVID. It's really a helpful device for us. So when you take a step back, STEM is a skill set, and there are various opportunities to create an impact. So if you have an eye for curiosity, science and engineering can help us solve a lot of problems in the world. And for me personally, I love being a role model and mentor to high school, middle school students in STEM, because if you look at the statistics, in the next 10 years, the number of STEM jobs are expected to grow by 13%. But there's a huge pipeline gap where a lot of students drop off from STEM careers, degrees, because they don't have diverse role models who can help them understand what a STEM career looks like. So having more role models and mentors is very crucial for us to create a strong pipeline in the US to create more STEM grads. So that's something that I'm really passionate about. And for me personally, as an engineer turned technologist turned leader, who loves to articulate all of this through my storytelling capabilities, I feel you need to have a strong combination of your technical skills combined with your soft skills to really articulate how science and technology can impact a business and be an enabler in driving the bottom line revenues.
Thank you for sharing that. I really do appreciate that. I like the balance that you just shared there between the being an engineer and being a leader. Thank you again. Priyanka, I just want to thank you. It's been a pleasure having you on today, and I look forward to speaking with you real soon.
Thank you so much, Brian. Happy to have shared these insights with your listeners.
Bye for now.